Hey, Lakers family, picture this. One small box on a front office checklist decides how the next 5 months feel in our living room, the tone of Reddick's huddles, the shape of second unit minutes, and the mood around trade week. That little box is a contract status line for Bronny, and I'm going to break down why it matters more than loud headlines suggest. I'll connect the money to the minutes, the rules to the rotations, the apron math to what we actually see on a Wednesday in Memphis or a Sunday matinee at home. I'll talk about why the staff keeps pushing a simple, demanding checklist for Bronny that wins without volume, how his presence stabilizes the guard room when pace and spacing wobble, and where the real decision windows live on the calendar. Stay with me through the context, because I'm saving the exact update for the moment it matters. I want you to feel the logic first, then I'll land the news clean and direct. No hedging. And I'll close by asking for your read on whether patience or packaging is the smarter move at the deadline, because this channel works when we think the game together. Here's the honest picture of the team around him. We have spurts where the offense looks like a metronome, early actions, feet set, corners occupied, ball popping, and then patches where the second unit leaks points. A turnover invites a run out, and we're playing uphill. That inconsistency is exactly why a low-number, multi-year guard slot is a bigger piece than it looks. When the group is searching, you can't afford an end-of-bench mystery. You need a guard who knows the rules, doesn't tax the cap, and doesn't inject chaos. When that player is in your building on a standard deal, it protects you from the panic that makes teams reach for 10 days, reshuffle the back half of the roster, and create new problems in the name of solving one. The staff's message with Bronny since camp has been narrow and demanding in the best way. Defend your position without fouling. Fight over screens so the back line isn't guessing. Tag the roller early and get out without opening the middle. Talk through every switch so communication travels faster than the ball. Flip the court and sprint to your spots. Live in the corners. Shoot on the catch. Drive only when the seam is real. Make the one more pass when rotation arrives. Reset spacing if a set dies. That's not star usage. That's the job description of a winning role guard on a team with veteran creators. And because matchups rule the regular season, his minutes expand against guard-heavy teams where point-of-attack pressure keeps the second unit intact, and they contract against jumbo wings who hunt small guards. That isn't punishment. It's coaching possessions, not reputations. Reddick's standards fit this mold. Pace into actions, strike early if the advantage shows, and zero tolerance for cute passes that turn into layups the other way. He wants event plays without gambling. One strip that blows up a set, one high hands closeout that scares a shooter off rhythm, one rebound where you hit first, not hardest. And he wants decision speed. The difference between shoot or swing and pound is the difference between an advantage possession and a dead one. That's where a young guard can buy trust quickly even when the box score looks modest. A 5 to 8 point line with 0 live ball turnovers and 2 perfect tag and recover possessions is a good night in this role. You know it when you feel the bench calm down. Fewer oh no moments, more there it is possessions. There's also a human layer that matters in November more than fans admit: role clarity. Veterans need to know who's next to them in their coverage taxonomy and what that player will do when panic hits the clock. A rookie needs to know exactly what earns another shift. Stability beats noise, especially in a first full year under a new coach where identity is still hardening. Now let me bring the business side into the same room without blowing smoke. The Lakers put Bronny on a standard multi-year NBA contract. This is not a two-way. That matters for 2 reasons you feel on game nights. 1, availability. No two-way game limits, no conversion shenanigans when a back-to-back hits and guard depth gets thin. And 2, control. The club has leverage baked into the later seasons instead of chasing decisions week to week. The dollar figures are intentionally small by NBA standards and escalate predictably year over year. That predictability is gold when you live near the apron and want to keep in-season flexibility. The rough progression sits in the low million range this year, under 2 next year, then the low 2s after that, with a club option sitting out there in the final season. You can do something very important with that kind of certainty. Leave yourself room to act in February without hard capping your choices in November. A cheap, controllable guard who knows your vocabulary is a better salary slot than 3 short-term patches. And because the first 2 seasons are fully guaranteed, with a partial guarantee on year 3 and a team option on year 4, you have a runway that matches the way smart teams actually make decisions. Full season of film, map the market, then commit. That's leverage, not hesitation. Tie that to what we see tactically. Next to LeBron, the job is friction reduction. Occupy the weak side corner early, force the stunt defender to think, cut through if the tag arrives late, and be automatic on the catch so spacing stays honest. Next to Austin Reeves, you become the pressure valve. Keep the second side action clean, make the one more without drama, and punish a defense that overhelps on his dribble pickup. In bigger forward lineups, say, when Rui is leaned on for bully drives, the instruction is run the wing in transition, flatten to the corner to clear the slot, and keep the lane clean for the first touch. None of that requires a high-usage handle. All of it requires timing, pace, voice, and the kind of details only stick when a player knows he'll be evaluated on the same rubric next week as this one. And if Bronny is not in the NBA rotation for a given stretch, the plan is honest G League reps, not optics, not PR. Reps that keep footwork, timing, and shot diet sharp inside the same terminology. This franchise has used that pipeline, and it works because everybody knows it's a tool, not a demotion. I want to walk you through 2 possessions that swing a random road game because this is where his lane lives. Opponent runs empty corner pick and roll to attack our 5. We show at the level. Bronny is at the nail, inside foot forward, numbers to the ball. The high skip is there, of course it is. But he gets to the catch with high hands and chest square, so the shooter hesitates, puts it on the deck, and now the clock is the defender. Reset. Late clock. Forced jumper. Next trip down, same opponent calls Spain to free a slot shooter. Our big calls the back switch early. Bronny rides the cutter through the lane, ghosts past the flare, and arrives without fouling, which means a bad catch, a worse decision, and a long rebound. You feel the temperature drop for a bench group after those 2 stops. That's the oxygen a low-usage guard supplies. 1 fewer clean look, 1 more clean transition lane, and the game tilts by 6 points before you realized who tilted it. This is also where the cap and the court shake hands. An inexpensive, predictable deal for a guard who can deliver those small, repeatable wins, protects the middle of your rotation and your books at the same time. If shot variance shows up, say the corner looks don't fall for a week, the roll doesn't break because the decision rules don't change. If the shot ticks up for a week, the minutes grow naturally without creating a usage tax elsewhere. That's exactly what you want while LeBron manages his body through the season and the staff experiments with closing groups around Anthony Davis. You can't plan April today, so you build a guard room that functions in both realities. LeBron pushing for another run or a different summer conversation that affects touch distribution and late clock responsibility. In both paths, the organization holds control on Bronny's upcoming seasons. That's the quiet advantage of this contract shape. It gives you the moral permission to be boring in November and brave in July. Let's talk calendar because knowing what can actually change, and when, is half the stress relief. There isn't a December trapdoor here. No conversion lever, no secret demotion clause. Year 2 is in place, and the next meaningful checkpoint is in the summer when the partial guarantee for year 3 crystallizes. That's when you sit with a full season of tape and a real marketplace for role players, not a trickle. After that, the club option in the 4th year gives you another fork. That sequencing matters for the bigger roster map, too. You don't want to burn leverage in October and then find out in July that the wing you want is finally available for a price you can meet. By keeping this lane calm now, you leave yourself every door in February and July. And yes, keeping the door open also means acknowledging that a small, clean number can be part of a package if and only if the right veteran becomes gettable at the right price. That's not a sales pitch. That's how good front offices keep options without breaking trust inside the room. I also hear the same pushback after shaky shooting nights. If the production is modest, why not tinker? Because week-to-week tinkering creates chaos. Salary slots are currency. Role clarity is chemistry. When you're living near the apron, there's a real cost to chasing short-term fixes that blow up your continuity. A cheap, controllable, system-literate guard who takes the floor without forcing a rewrite has more hidden value than a loud minimum who doesn't. You protect the minutes that don't lose you games and allow the tape to scale responsibility. That's grown-up roster building. It's how you avoid panic overreactions that feel active and deliver nothing. Now, let me layer in the shooting and decision speed angle because this is where his growth is supposed to show month by month. Corner threes for a young guard are less about form and more about timing. Get to the corner early so the defense has to choose before the ball arrives. Commit to the catch and shoot without a dance step. Accept that misses happen and keep the math honest. The staff wants Bronny firing those looks on the catch and using one-dribble attacks only when the defender sprints past the closeout. On drives, it's 2 reads. Finish if you get the hip, skip if the low man commits. No high-risk wraparounds, no jump passes into traffic. Those constraints sound restrictive. They're actually liberating because they remove the noise and focus the job on repeatable wins. And on defense, the don't foul piece is underrated. A rookie who can fight over a screen, keep the inside shoulder clean, and contest without slapdown saves points you never see on Twitter. That's hours in the film room and reps in practice, not magic. Let's not pretend the emotional layer isn't real either. The last name on the jersey brings attention that doesn't help a young role player, and the only way through that is clarity from the organization. The Lakers have been straightforward. Year 2 is stable, NBA availability matters, G League reps are part of the plan when the rotation doesn't need 3 small guards, and minutes are earned on defense and decision speed. That transparency avoids the weird energy that happens when a young player's status changes every week. It lets vets breathe, and it lets a rookie build habits without looking over his shoulder. In a room that's still solidifying its identity under Redick, boring is good. Boring compounds. All right, you've earned the update, and I promised I'd land it without hedging. Here it is, clean and direct. The Lakers are keeping Bronny James's contract exactly as it is for this season. No mid-season rework, no two-way conversion, no demotion, no December trap doors. Year 2 remains in place. The next real decision. Window is the summer guarantee trigger for Year 3, and the 4th season remains a club option further down the road. On the floor, his usage stays matchup-based with an emphasis on point-of-attack defense, corner 3 volume, decision speed, and mistake-free minutes. The leash extends when the defense is tight and the ball moves. It shortens when live ball turnovers show up. The front office will keep every option open for February and July. That's the job. But the headline right now is calm. Stability and patience, while this group sharpens its best lineups and manages star workloads. That's the adult choice in a league that rewards impulse with headaches. Before we close, I want your read, because this room works best when the smartest comments steer the next breakdown. If you're sitting in the chair, do you ride the current structure all the way through and revisit the partial guarantee in July, or do you package small numbers for a win-now wing even if it taxes development minutes? What have you actually seen? Stance at the point of attack, timing on roller tags, corner 3 confidence, that makes you more optimistic or more cautious? If LeBron waits until late to clarify his path, does that change how you'd handle Year 3 money, or do you hold the line and let the tape decide? Drop it below, straight talk, no spin, and tell me which second unit guard mix you trust most right now when the game gets messy. My final read, concise and professional, the Lakers chose the calm lane. Keep Bronny's deal untouched now, bank a full season of film, and make the money calls in the summer. Because the cap is tight, the rotation needs low mistake minutes, and week-to-week status changes would hurt more than help. It's the right call for November, it preserves real flexibility for February, and it protects every option for July. If this kind of coverage helps you make sense of the noise, subscribe to Lakers News Fan Report, turn on notifications, and share this with the friend who texts you at tip-off. I'll track the dates, the minutes, and the momentum game by game so you never miss the next trigger point.